Good morning. Welcome to the Monday Morning Coffee Break with the Marketing Tipster. My name is Rob Butters. I'm a Principal Marketing Consultant, part of the Integrated Marketing Solutions practice with Frost & Sullivan. We want to set up a bi-weekly Tipster where we give marketing tips for our marketing professionals to help sales, and really a peer-to-peer information sharing group where we can gain knowledge, share knowledge, give some input, and get some input back. Help us set up our week nicely and get our Monday morning coffee talk going. So let's start off with our topics for this week. The agenda for today: what is the number one marketing professional's pain point? Number two, how we communicate with sales. And number three, B2B audience targeting. Let's get rocking. Just a little sidebar. Why did I start in marketing? Well, it was because I wasn't very good at algebra. And I did have an affinity for statistics. And that is coming in very, very handy these days with the advent of big data. Data management is absolutely key. And in our industry, because of that, talented analysts in marketing are in short supply. And we're talking about analysts that look at data, how to consume data, how to actually look at the data, and how to actually boil it out where we can have some activation points from the data that we can learn from and move into. Really what we're talking about here is three different sources of data from a marketing perspective. We have the tools at Salesforce that our Salesforce uses. Salesforce.com is a perfect example of that. That's where we send our leads to be activated, where they go from a marketing qualified lead to a sales accepted lead, and hopefully qualified from that point to become a sales qualified lead. The next stage or point of intersection on how we actually aggregate our data is in and around the nurturing engines that feed that funnel, be it Marketo, Eloqua, and how we actually look at that data and how that data gets boiled down. And then ultimately we want to aggregate all that into our CRM system so that we learn something. We learn on conversion. We learn on how our salespeople are activating. And we really look at all of the big data and how it boils down into that funnel. The three keys are that those three different channels, those three different points of data really are communicating well with one another, are hooked up, and are intelligent in the fact sharing. Two, that we do a lot of great analytics. And three, that we activate on those analytics. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to do that and how to share that information. But the real key here, the real tip, is if you're a marketing professional, if you don't have a data analyst underneath you, you need one. So, tipster of the day, get a good analyst. Number two, communication with sales. And this might seem simple. Hey, let's have every conversation we want with sales. Send them all sorts of information. Get them thinking about stuff. Incorrect. Sales are flooded. Salespeople are busy. What they need is a regular interval. What is in it for them? We need to look at how we can help them on a competitive differentiation where we've won, how we can actually communicate with them regularly, and how they see a trend, upward trend, on how we're actually working the leads, moving the leads from SAL, SQL, to actually a one scenario where we've won off of a lead, and then share that. How do we share a success? I just delivered an e-broadcast, and one of the key questions that came in is it's so critical that we share our successes. How do we replicate that? How do we actually qualify the lead? At what point was a sales accepted lead turnover to a sales qualified lead? And what were the competitive differentiators that helped us through that? So the key here is regular intervals. How do we moderate it? And to look at the overall success stories, helping them. And also, let's not forget that if we've lost a sale and there's a key competitive edge that one of our competitors has upped us on, make sure that our sales reps are armed with that. That's a key objection that they're going to reach and a key objection that we can help them through. So ultimately, we talk about, in the past, we have marketing department and the sales department. The last three roles I've had have reported directly into sales. And sales are all about three things. Let's show trend, let's help me win, and let's actually look at what you've done for me lately. And it's just about that simple. So make sure that when we consider what we're doing from a communication channel, that we're very accurate, that we show trends, and that we show competitive advantage. And these are departments. These departments are no longer split. I guarantee you, one day if you're not reporting into sales from a marketing perspective, you soon will be. Let's look at the third and maybe a little bit more complex. I just recently reviewed an article in Direct Marketing Magazine. Here's props. And it is around B2B segmentation and why it's a mystery. Well, let's face it, B2B is a lot different from B2C. In B2C, they have it figured out. If I have my, call it my prescription that has to be refilled, boom, they know how to reach me. They know how to get through to me. If I have my tires that needed rotating from Firestone, they know how to reach me. They know exactly when, where, and what I need to do in order to get that done. So what do we need to do from a marketing standpoint to look at B2B marketing segmentation? Really, when we don't do that, things like install-based marketing, where we don't understand the customer's pain points, where we don't know how they want to be communicated with. I can't tell you the number of times I've stubbed my toe looking at an install-based marketing initiative where we had 15,000 different contacts that I thought were the right contacts, that we've only looked at the titling. We didn't ever look into segmentation and pain points, and really didn't do a very good job on the campaign itself, on the launch of the email campaign. So segmentation is absolutely key, and in segmentation, we boil it down to the next stage. If we're just doing title targeting, that's not going to work. What we need to do is take it one step beyond and look at the personification. What types of personas are actually consuming our data? And then take it one step forward and look at, okay, we have our line of business contact that we want to get a hold of. We have the segmentation that we want to get a hold of. And then lastly, what we want to look at is the content that we want to serve up in that campaign element or a tactic that is going to be very powerful at that point. The last point here is that personas are really key, and when we look at personas, we also want to consider that enterprises are very, very difficult to get into. There's, selling into big businesses is extremely difficult these days because people aren't returning calls. So we have to have some type of soft handoff from somebody we know, get in there one way, shape, form, or another, but then it's key, if we've done our segmentation, we know the content we want to deliver. It's actually a very powerful combination when we put together segmentation, targeting, and content and looked at it to the degree that B2C has looked at it. So the tip jar of the day, B2B persona modeling will reflect B2C detail. So one of the ways that we're going to make this really interactive and fun is to give you some indication on the bi-weekly series of how we're actually going to deliver content. And one of the ways, I'll give you some contact information in a moment for me, and what I'd like you to do is serve up ideation for me to work on. So in 2 weeks, we're going to work on a topic that I really, really love, and it is new twists on old marketing. Marketing techniques like events, marketing techniques like direct mail, marketing techniques like email. How do we take old ideation and old ideas and make them new again? So let's serve up a little bit of contact information for you. My name is Rob Butters. I'm robert.butters@frost.com. I'm part of the Frost & Sullivan's Integrated Marketing Solutions practice, what every B2B marketer craves. So we've just recently relaunched our Frost IMS, Integrated Marketing Solutions site. You'll find great content at www.frost.com/IMS. And to visit video blogs of the past, you'll find great content at this site. Looking forward to talking to you in 2 weeks. Have a great week, and hopefully you found this helpful. Take care.